back to the U.S. talking about the new Obama administration.
Right.
If he won the election, also promising and crying, yes we can, and also promising a big public health system reform.
Yeah.
But it is treasury yields are already rising, as it happened during the Clinton administration. And at that time, newspaper, mass media called it the bomb vigilantes. Do you think that it is happening something similar?
Yeah, it could be. The long bond, the 10-year bond yield is rising. And so the Secretary of Treasury, who's in China, said that's good because people who are in treasuries for safety are leaving and going and investing in something else. That's nice. But the other explanation is that people are worried about inflation, and the long bond yields are going to reflect that. So the most knowledgeable investors that I know in the bond market, people that I sort of work with, would say there's a real risk that what the bond markets are now signaling is a real concern about the fiscal situation in the United States and the possibility, at least, that the only option left to the government to sort of get out of it is inflation, which amounts to reducing the real value of bonds, but reducing liabilities by essentially inflating your way out of them. So the bondholder who has a $1,000 bond finds himself with a $600 bond in real terms, at the end of the process. So I would not dismiss that concern. And the way around it is to make tough choices and to have a credible plan that's well communicated to restore the fiscal situation in the United States. So the question I guess you're asking is, what fraction of what the president wanted to do and said he wanted to do in the election can he do in crisis mode? I mean, he placed an enormously daring political bet. That was in the first couple of months of the crisis, he produced a federal budget which was essentially encompassed all the things he said he was going to do, and all the gurus from the business world, like Buffett. Warren Buffett said, "No, you got to solve the crisis first. Then you get around to doing that later." And I think his calculation was political. He said, he said to himself, "I didn't get elected, to sit around talking to people about, transparency and this other boring stuff. People want the healthcare system reformed. They want the educational system to function. They want a bunch of things, and we're going to set out to do it." Now, somewhere in the middle, they're going to have to sort of be practical. On the healthcare side, they're now saying they're going to emphasize the cost containment part at the same time as trying to cover everybody. These things may not be I'm not an expert at this, but these may not be as inconsistent as they sound. It's very expensive to have 40-odd million people not covered by health care, because then they come into the system kind of sick, and land in hospital emergency rooms and other things. So we'd probably be better off with the Italian healthcare system, where everybody's covered, and whatnot.
Not the same as we are. The same in a financial way, but in a way.
No, but in terms of its sort of basic design.
Yeah, sure.
And then companies add their bits and pieces associated with, their employees and stuff. I'm not trying to sell it, but it's clear there's something desperately wrong with ours, and there's a huge amount of waste in it. I mean, not only is it the most expensive one per capita and as a percentage of GDP, but there's a huge amount of administrative cost. Where people who don't know what they're doing are reviewing healthcare claims that should be just kind of paid automatically. So, I guess it's hard to know how much he's going to how much the crisis will force a slowdown in this large agenda that he has. Just we'll have to wait and find out.